So what is AI optimization? And what do all these crazy new acronyms mean? And most importantly, why does it matter for your business or brand? Once upon a time, if you wanted to find something out, say what's the best time to paint a deck, you'd go straight to Google and do a search, just like this. Now, you can probably already notice something a little different that's going on with Google search. Back in the olden days, almost to the time where we were just riding horses around, all we would get in a Google search result would be these blue links taking us to some hopefully relevant web page that could answer our question. But as you can see here, more and more searches are starting to incorporate these AI overview answers. And many users are skipping Google altogether and going straight into their favorite AI chat tool like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or Perplexity instead to find the businesses, products, and services that they need. Oh, hey, look. It's our friend and clients over at Imhoff Painting. So AI optimization is a strategy of influencing these large language models to recommend your brand more often. It's really just the next evolution of SEO. Brands who dominate AI output are going to get a lot more business than those who ignore it. Now, since this is such a new field, there's still a lot of uncertainty in all this. So I wouldn't dump your entire marketing budget into AI optimization just yet. But it's definitely something to be paying attention to and even trying out different techniques and seeing what gets results. So that's why I'm here with you now. I'm not claiming to be an expert on AI optimization. I'm here to learn with you and share what we're finding that works. So I'll quickly explain some of the main differences between SEO and AEO and GEO and so on, as well as giving you an idea of how to check your current performance with them. So first of all, search engine optimization, of course, is the classic practice of optimizing your website to try to show up as one of the top organic search results in Google. Because, of course, the top results for any particular search term get the majority of the clicks. And traffic, you can turn it into business. So again, it's mainly focused on these blue organic links in a search result page. And there's tons of tools out there to check how your site's performing with these. We use SEMrush and Ahrefs, but there's all sorts of free tools you can also use to check. All right, the next one is AEO, or Answer Engine Optimization. So this is where you're optimizing your content to appear as direct answers in things like featured snippets, voice responses, the Q&A boxes, or AI-generated quick answers. So again, going back to this example search result, AEO would be trying to get your website cited, for example, in one of these answers here, or maybe a video, or in the AI overview here. For example, right here, oh, our friends again. Now, the next one is GEO. So that's Generative Engine Optimization. So this is where someone might actually go into a chat tool, like I showed you here with ChatGPT, and have kind of a back and forth discussion with an AI tool to try to recommend some different businesses or products to them. Now, there's a couple different ways that these ones can work. You'll notice that you can see the sources here listed right here. And where did those come from? Well, the chatbot actually just did kind of a search engine search and pulled from some of the top organic results from a search. So having really good SEO performance of your content is still an important fundamental for GEO and AI optimization in general. But sometimes these models, they're trained on all the public information on the internet. And so sometimes they'll just spit out an answer without actually going and doing any searches. And so that's where the knowledge is actually built into their neural circuitry. It's like when you already know how to get somewhere versus looking up directions. And that's usually the case with a lot of history-based questions. Let me try to think of one. What countries in Europe spoke English during the Middle Ages? Let's try that. And okay, so this one did not do a Google search. You can see there's no sources. So this is pulling it directly from its own neural network, its own brain, you could say. So I'm kind of hinting at part of the strategy here. Yes, SEO is an important component, but also publishing a lot of public content and feeding these large language models when they're doing their training with information about your brand and how it compares to your competitors and how it's different and who it caters to. Answering all these questions is really going to help. In future videos, I'm going to go way deeper in the how, but this is one way that you can check how your brand is performing. Basically, in ChatGPT, you can start a new chat, and then you want to turn on temporary chat like this. That way, all your previous chat history and stuff doesn't create bias in the results. And then from here, just start talking to the search engine, just kind of play the role of a potential customer and start asking it questions and asking it to recommend businesses and stuff, and see if your business comes up. And if your business doesn't come up, you can see which businesses do come up and try to start reverse engineering what's working for them. Now, actually, you can see how much traffic you're currently getting from these AI tools if you have Google Analytics set up on your website. So this is a free AI traffic report. The good news is that all the data is already in there in your Google Analytics. This just kind of filters out specifically the users or sessions and views that originate from a chatbot. So as you can see, these are the sources of the sessions. So we got ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, Perplexity. You can see how many views, how many sessions, and you can get this for free on our website, hogtheweb.com, to see how much traffic your site's currently getting. Now, the important thing to note here is that this traffic is actually people who are directly clicking links from the chat tools like this. It does not include when they click a link from AI Overview. Currently, Google Analytics is not tracking that, and Google Search Console is not really making a distinction whether they're, clicking one of these links here or they're clicking a link, for example, here in People Also Ask citation. They all just are organic search clicks. But I expect, eventually in the future, we'll get some more of that data. So we don't have as much visibility with the AEO search traffic, but with GEO, you can use that free report that I showed you here. And you can also see which landing pages the AI is recommending to people, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, if you're paying for one of these expensive SEO tools, you can see how your site's performing in AI overviews. So for example, here's SEMrush, and in the rankings overview, we can actually see that Imhoff Painting is ranking in the AI overview of the search engine result page, the SERP, for this keyword and these other keywords. This means it's in the site links. It'll also show, if you're showing up in the map pack or in the People Also Ask, all these different SERP features. So feel free to just shoot me an email if you want me to put your website into SEMrush and spit out the report of your current rankings and see which keywords you're actually showing up in the AI overviews for. So that's GEO. And then we've got AI optimization, or AIO, which is basically the umbrella term for all of this stuff, and probably the one I'll use most often since it's the most inclusive and there's not really a big need to be so specific with it. And I know there's some buzz right now that, AI is a bubble that's going to burst. And, there was a .com bubble and burst way back in the early 2000s. And yet still look at what the internet has become, So even though there can be these bubbles kind of get overvalued in the stock market, doesn't mean that this is just a temporary trend, And one final visual to take that point home. This is a chart of how many queries OpenAI is processing, and you see it falls off a cliff right around June 6th. So this person asked the question, what the freak happened on June 6th? Well, college students. Whether good or bad for their education, college students are really learning to leverage these AI tools. So that's a sign right there that this is a wave that's coming that you're going to want to get in front of. So I'm Levi with Hog the Web. Thank you for watching and coming along this learning journey with me as we figure out AI optimization together. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because in the next video, I'll go over the basics of how to increase your brand's visibility in these AI search tools, plus some of the big ways that it's different than SEO strategy.